Hey y'all, it's Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV. Listen, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I want to tell you all about a story real quick, something that I witnessed. But I first want to ask you, when is the last time that you went into your local bank? You know, we live in the age where technology has made it convenient for us, whether you receive direct deposit or, you know, whether you're doing some other type of transactions, online banking. You know, technology for many of us has made it so that, you know, we can do our banking on the go, at home. You know, there's not necessarily, for a lot of people, there's not necessarily a need to visit the bank as much as, you know, it used to be, you know, back in the day, before all of this technology, right? Trying to get something off of my sweater here, y'all. I apologize. But listen, so today I just happened to go in a bank. Okay, I had to take care of something that, you know, I needed to do face to face and see a person. And I wanted to tell you all about something that I witnessed, something I overheard. So in this particular bank, as you walk in, there was another bank employee standing right by the door, and he was asking the customers, you know, how he was welcoming the customers in, and he was asking, you know, what can we help you with today? He was asking each person, you know, basically, you know, what they needed help with, whether they needed to cash a check, make a deposit, open a new account, right? And I guess from there, he would direct the customers where to go. So I went in, you know, told him what I needed to take care of. I went to where I needed to stand to wait. And there was a gentleman that came in, and he said that he needed to cash his check. And so, as you know, he was right behind me, so, you know, I could hear. Actually, I'm sorry, he was in front of me. And the gentleman said, you know, so I'm actually telling the story. I told you all what I, you know, was taking care of, but the gentleman who is, you know, the topic of my story, he was actually in front of me. Okay, so let me correct that. So the gentleman said, you know, he was here to cash his check. It's Friday. It's payday for most people, right? And what was said next was quite interesting. So the bank employee, you know, asked him after the customer said that he was there to cash his check. The bank employee asked him, you know, is it over $2,000? And the gentleman said no. And the bank employee, you know, basically said that he was like, okay, he was like, well, you know, we don't have any large bills, but we can still cash it for you. And I'm just thinking, you know, wow, okay, the bank, you know, why don't they have any large bills? Like, you know, what's going on with that, right? And, you know, I'm just thinking back to, you know, how they said it was a coin shortage at one time. Now hearing that, you know, here it is, it's almost the end of the month, payday for a lot of people. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, the fact that it is payday and maybe they had large bills. Or I started wondering, okay, are banks starting, you know, there have always, from my understanding, there have been procedures in place, like if you want to withdraw a certain amount of money, there are extra steps. But, you know, there are reports that a lot of banks are starting to, how do I want to say it, put in tighter controls for customers withdrawing money. Now, in this particular case, you know, he asked, you know, was it over $2,000? And the gentleman said no, but you know, I don't know, maybe I should have asked this separately. You know, maybe later on, hey, you know what, are you not able to cash a check if it's over $2,000? But I don't know what their protocol is for that. The guy didn't say, and I didn't ask because he wasn't talking to me, but I would just be curious to know, what would they have said if the check was over $2,000? Would they not have been able to cash it? Could they only get a certain amount in cash and then the rest would have to be a check? You know, we're living in a time now where a lot of things are happening. A lot of people are losing their trust in the banking system. There are talks of, and I need to do a video about this as well, but there are talks about going to some form of a central bank digital currency. Do you all know any information about that? You're welcome to share in the comments. And we all see what's happening, you know, with the stock market. So a lot of people are becoming more concerned about their money being in the bank. Okay, you all can do your research on that. So to hear, you know, and $2,000 may be a lot of money for some people. It may not be a lot of money for others. I'll let you decide that. But banks are now wondering, okay, or asking, you know, how much is the check? If it's over a certain amount, you may only be able to get part of it in cash, part of it in check. I'm not saying that's their policy, but I'm just saying, you know, that could very well be an option. You know, but the bank, you know, I clearly heard him say, you know, we don't have any large bills. So you all give me your thoughts on that. Do you think that's just a standard procedure? Do you think that banks are beginning to tighten their policies to somehow keep customers, or keep, you know, they want to keep the customers from pulling out so much cash? What do you think this is really about? You know, I can't tell you what to do. You know, I can make suggestions, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what you feel like is best for you and your family. But, you know, there are some people who are becoming very, like I said, skeptical. Okay, that's another word you can use. They're becoming very skeptical with everything that's going on. And, you know, they're choosing to take out their money for whatever reason, put their money in other items, you know, maybe some commodities and things like that. You can do your research on that as well. But I don't know. I can't say whether or not a lot of people are still keeping their money in banks. So I would like to know your thoughts on that. I thought that said, wow, you know, that's kind of interesting with everything, you know, going on that, you know, I know of through research and experience and, you know, things like that. I just thought that was interesting, you know, that they would say that. It seems like I said, it's almost the end of the month. It is a payday for many people. It seems like the banks would be better prepared to handle what I would think is a large amount of customers who are coming in to cash their checks. So if you all don't mind sharing, without you know, I'm not asking you to share any personal information, but have you yourself noticed any changes in your local bank? Have you made any decisions based on everything that's going on? Have you made any decisions? You know, do you have, in other words, what I'm asking is, have you become more skeptical about banks? You know, and speaking of banks, there is an article out there. I'm going to do some research about this. And from my understanding, I believe, well, let me tell you what it's about, or how I interpret it, right? So there are some banks. I don't know if it's 5 major banks or 6 major banks. Maybe you all have some insight on this. You can share it in the comments. But there are some banks who are becoming, and actually I posted an article about this, or actually a Fox News video about this on the community tab right here on the channel, so you can check it out. But it seems like the banks are becoming somehow influenced with this whole climate agenda and things like that, and they're trying to make some changes that maybe you and I don't, or the public don't, you know, fully know about. And officials in certain states are stepping up saying, hey, no, we're not going to do business with these banks, you know, if they do in fact try to follow through with whatever it is, you know, agenda that they're trying to follow through with. So, you know, my question is, what gives banks the right to say, hey, you know, we don't want to, we're making this decision either for you or against you based on you know, whether or not you have a certain, I don't know, carbon footprint, or, you know, hey, I told you all what happened with PayPal, right? PayPal most certainly is in the financial industry. What gives PayPal the right? You all can check out that video as well as right here on the channel. But what gives PayPal the right to want to fine their customer $2,500 for spreading what PayPal feels like is misinformation. And what really is misinformation? Seems like that's a lot of, that can be misinterpreted. Misinformation can be interpreted as well. So with everything going on, changes to the financial system, risk in the financial system, what are your thoughts on banks? I would encourage you to, like I said, technology has made it very convenient so that a lot of people can just do their banking, mobile banking, online banking. If you have direct deposit set up, electronic banking, maybe you don't have to go into the bank as much. But I would maybe encourage you to visit your bank in the branch and just find out and see what's going on. What changes are you noticing? Does it seem like they're really wanting to, question if you want to make a withdrawal or things like that? Have any of their policies changed that you are aware of? All right, y'all. So that's all I wanted to report in this video. I will be uploading more videos here on the channel. I'm going to be talking about the fact that, there are grocery stores closing right here. In my area, we have some grocery stores, or a grocery store that is going to be closing soon. I believe next month. I'm going to be doing a report there. Actually, in a previous video, I've actually gone live, and I did a live there, and I talked about food shortages. And it was just recently announced that they're going to be closing that particular grocery store. A lot of people are wondering about the future of that particular building, but I'm going to be talking about that in a future video. But yeah, y'all, again, we gotta make sure that we keep up with what's going on. A lot of things are happening, whether it's in our control or out of our control. I would say just focus on what you can, what you can do. Make sure that you're preparing. Make sure you have your emergency food supply, your survival needs, so that you and your family can, sustain and thrive and survive during the times that we're living in. But that's what I wanted to let you all know. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Again, have you been in a bank lately, in your bank? Are you noticing any changes? Are they asking more questions? Are they themselves becoming more skeptical of you? Let me ask you all this before I go. Speaking of banking, have you all noticed, you all can let me know if you've noticed this. Have you noticed, and this may have been happening for a while now, I'm not sure, but have you all noticed that your bank is starting to categorize your purchases? So whether you make a transaction here, let's say this is for healthcare, or this is groceries. Are you all noticing that? Have you all noticed that? What is that really about, and why do they need that information? Who gets that information? These are the questions that I'm asking, and I encourage you to do the same. All right, y'all, take care. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And again, I'll see you right here in another video right here on Andrea Speaks TV. Y'all take care, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.